Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be racing the McLaren MP4 13 and we're going to be racing it at Suzuka.
Yeah, I thought this would be a good one to take out. I haven't driven this car and I haven't actually been on this track, so let's say it got a little bit interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
What I will say, it's very 90s, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this is just classic 90s.
The steering wheel,
Well,
the Kenwood logo.
Yeah, yep, the Kenwood logo. I mean, the reason I chose this is obviously this car and this track have a history here, because this was where the title went down to the wire in 1998. It was at this track. Schumacher was on pole. Schumacher got the pole position. Häkkinen was second in this very car, and we're driving in Häkkinen's livery. And Schumacher stalled. Started at the back of the grid. And all Schumacher had to do was make sure Häkkinen didn't get any points, and Schumacher would have won the championship. Schumacher's car broke down. Häkkinen won the race. Häkkinen won the championship. So this car and this track have quite a history.
Yeah.
And besides, I like this track, and we've never reviewed this. And I really like Suzuka. It's a fun track, albeit I think I'm about to crash.
Oh.
There we go. So that's one of about 20 maybe.
Yeah. But
Mostly my fault.
I'm glad that you didn't record my lap in this.
That was a funny lap.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'll be honest, I gave up.
Well, you ended up backwards, didn't you?
Yeah, I was.
Did you just say a lap? Because all I could see was him reversing the whole way through.
Yeah,
That's true. You did have it in reverse.
I ended up just enjoying the sound of the car, so I was just making it scream everywhere I could.
Yeah.
That V10 engine. But...
It's a really nice sound. The car is by Virtua Simulazioni, and the car is available on Race Department. So as usual, we will link it in the description box below. The car itself comes in 7 liveries.
6, 7.
7. 3 of Coulthard's, 3 of Häkkinen's, and 1 of their own.
Oh, yeah.
One fictional, 1 of their own. So which liveries is it for Coulthard and Häkkinen? It's the
They've got the race livery.
the standard race livery.
They've got another one without the tobacco signs.
And then they got this bright orange test livery.
You know, I don't remember that livery. I'm sure it was, I know it was used at some point in the tests.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember watching the tests.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I was about 6 years old.
Yeah.
So I was 5, 6 years old, but I do remember this track, and I do remember these races. And I think it was just, when I was driving this car, it was just like, I remember why I enjoyed Formula 1 so fast. It was loud, it was brutal, and the cars were incredibly hard to drive. And you could tell from the driver's perspective, even when you were watching as a spectator, you could see that drivers were working hard to get cars going. While, nowadays it's sort of different. It's like, as Jenson Button says, it's Formula 1, but not Formula 1, as we know it. So that's that.
Right, when you said 7 liveries,
Yeah.
but they've also got another additional pack where you can get some more liveries.
Yeah, you can get the liveries for the entire 1998 season. So we've got the Mika Salo's Arrows F1 livery.
Yeah. The Benetton's one.
Yeah, Alexander Wirtz.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Ferrari F300 Michael Schumacher livery.
We've got Damon Hill's Jordan livery.
And then there's a Minardi.
Do you remember Minardi?
Wasn't the one that was always at the back of the grid?
Yeah, Minardi.
And then the ones where... What happened to them?
I
went
think
bust?
they went bust. I can't remember. Did someone buy them out? I think someone bought them out. Because Jordans were bought. I think Jordans were bought out by Force Indias, and Jordans were bought by Jaguar, who was then bought by Force India.
Right.
Sauber is
Jaguar.
still around.
Yeah.
Sauber's still around. Williams are still around. Ferrari's still around. Benetton ended up being bought by Lotus eventually. So that's the Lotus F1 team is Benetton. Arrows, I think they may have become Red Bull, and I think Minardi became Toro Rosso actually. So that's where they ended up. Stewart and Tyrrell, I don't know where they. Caterham and Marussia, perhaps. But Minardis were bad. What other ones are there?
Right, we're going to go back to it now. So the Mika Häkkinen one.
It's the MP4-11
Yes.
livery. So that's actually, I think it was his first season. 2 years, 97, 96. No, I think it was his second season at McLaren.
Yeah. And then they've got the Alan Prost and the Olivier Panis livery.
Yeah, it's actually this was where Prost owned the team. So it's actually the Prost team, Alan Prost team,
Yeah.
and Olivier Panis was the driver on that one.
Yeah.
Sauber, Jean Lacey,
Yeah.
Rubens Barrichello and Stewart, Ricardo Rosset in Tyrrell, and
Jacques Villeneuve.
in the Williams.
Yeah.
So 1997 world champion there as well. Good livery pack, and that should make some interesting races.
Whoops.
As I crash again. That one was my fault. I really underestimated the tyre grip there.
It is a tough car to drive.
It
I
is
mean,
ve-
I only
it is
drove for
very-
like 2 minutes.
And it's very tough. Right, shall we just go about?
Well,
on
let's
specs?
talk about why it's tough. Yeah, the specs should tell us why it's tough.
Well, it comes what? It's a V10 engine, obviously.
Obviously.
You can tell that from the sound.
Shall we take a guess how much power it produces?
Well, I can't guess because I know how much power
sorry,
it gets
okay.
because I've got an engine, one of these engines actually in the university I used to study.
Okay, we can't guess. How much do the current Formula 1 cars have?
They produce about 760 with 600 and 600 and something coming from the engine itself and an additional 120 from the battery pack.
Wow. Okay, so this was just pure V10 780 bhp.
780 and
Was
how about
it
where-
naturally aspirated?
Of course it's naturally
There
aspirated.
you
This
go.
was after the first turbo era and this was the era of naturally aspirated, thoroughbred, difficult to drive cars and some of the greatest drivers of all time. Ayrton Senna was just before this, but that was V12 going into V10 era. And then we had drivers like Mika Häkkinen, Michael Schumacher, Jacques Villeneuve was a pretty good driver in his heyday. Rubens Barrichello was a good driver. Jenson Button, who still drives. Kimi Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso. All of them came from this car and about 10 years or 5 years after that. That's where all these drivers came in.
They're good drivers.
Basically,
Yeah.
the best. The ones that you would say the best. I'd say even Damon Hill was worthy of his world championship. He's a good driver.
You know what surprised me about this car? 1,300 HP per ton.
Yeah, it's a
That's
very
a
light because
lot.
there's a car only weighs 600 kilos.
Yeah.
And that includes the driver, the fuel,
Exactly.
the water, and the oil.
Wow.
So that's that. Another driver we can't forget to mention him, David Coulthard.
Of course.
I mean, I know he never won a world championship, but if you look at his his stats, if you do look at his stats, he actually is one of the best racing drivers in terms of points, which is odd. I mean, I think he's actually I think he may still be in the top 10, or Lewis Hamilton might have got him now. And he did win a race in this car.
When I remember watching the F1 races, I always remember seeing him on the podium.
Yeah, he was exactly. He was well known for being on the podium, and in this particular car, he did only win one race, and that was the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola.
Right.
So he did win that. Mika Häkkinen, however, won the Australian Grand Prix, the Brazilian Grand Prix, Spanish Grand Prix at Catalunya, the Monaco Grand Prix, the Austrian Grand Prix at the A1 Ring, German Grand Prix. Now this is actually a little bit funny. German Grand Prix. It was at Hockenheim. Now where's the Nürburgring?
Germany.
Germany. The race after the German Grand Prix was called the Luxembourg Grand Prix. Guess where that was?
Germany.
It was at the Nürburgring in Germany.
But
What?
did they also have a European Grand Prix that was in Germany as well?
The European Grand Prix was at the Nürburgring.
Yeah.
But no, you know what? The thing was, this one they managed to sneak 2 German Grand Prix in, one after another. I would say that's cheating, but we did that at one point. We had Donington and Silverstone one after another. we had the European Grand Prix, Donington,
Yeah.
and then the British Grand Prix, Silverstone.
So the European was like just a little buffer.
European, yeah. I mean, the last time the European Grand Prix was held was it was at Valencia. Schumacher's final podium. Alonso won that race. Valencia's track was horrible, absolutely horrible. I'm glad they got rid of that one. And then it won the Japanese Grand Prix, which is exactly this track here, Suzuka, where we're at right now. What was the lap time though? That was interesting. The qualifying time in this car, and the reason we're mentioning this is because of the car and what I'm trying to do, was a 1:36.4, and the race time, the fastest lap in the race was by Schumacher, was a 1:40.190. Now I'm not going to get anywhere near that, but I felt a little bit of pride. At one point I do manage to set, I think, a 1:45. I feel a little bit of pride being 5 seconds behind Schumacher's time. That was nice.
In a simulator.
In a simulator.
Yeah, let's not forget that.
Let's say in real life, I'd probably get to turn 1 and sort of lose it.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, okay, my arms won't. They're not moving the wheel. So now we've gone through all the specs. We've gone through a bit of the history of the car. What did it feel like driving? Now all 3 of us drove this car.
Yeah.
Well, me and him just drove it for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I just enjoyed the sound, and I'll be honest, it was solid
It was nice.
to drive. But it felt like a popular I mean, I've never driven one before, so I wouldn't know. But you know, when you feel like the drivers are proper controlling it,
Yeah.
and you feel like they, you know, it's
on
difficult.
that limit. It's on that edge where you have to.
So I mean, in terms of, I mean, I don't know if I can grade it because I didn't drive for long enough,
Yeah.
and I can't compare it to the real thing. And it sounds really stupid, but
Yeah.
I don't think I grade it. But it felt really good. That's what I'm gonna say. In terms of realistic and values,
Yeah.
and so I can't grade it, and that for a reason I'm not gonna grade it.
I think, yeah, in terms of realism, this car definitely matches the real one. With all the cars that we've driven in this simulator, like all the other F1 cars and stuff, this one really is a challenge. I mean, you could just tell in every corner, it just wants to throw you, it just wants to kill you.
The back
It's
just
brutal,
wants to
yeah.
kick
It just
out.
wants to kick out. It's really difficult to go through the corners.
It was one of those. I mean, this is an Adrian Newey design car, and for those of you who follow F1, Adrian Newey is like the genius of F1.
Yeah.
His car designs are some of the very best of all time. Sebastian Vettel's 4 world titles, Adrian Newey cars. These McLarens, both this year and the next year, Adrian Newey cars. So I think there's a few others I think as well. They're all Adrian Newey cars. I think Ayrton Senna's cars were Adrian Newey design cars.
Okay. So he goes way back. He's part of the F1 class then.
Yeah, he is like the names in F1 that stick out in terms of engineers and race personnel. Jean Todt, Max Mosley, Adrian Newey, Bernie Ecclestone.
Yeah.
He is one of them. Luca Di Montezemolo, although he's not in F1 anymore. These are the names that stick out in Formula One. Frank Williams.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna say.
All of these names. Peter Sauber. Yeah, those are the names.
Can we put in Jordan in there?
Actually, you could put Eddie Jordan in there,
yeah.
because Eddie Jordan did bring some interesting things to Formula One. First of all, Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
He brought Michael Schumacher to Formula One. Albeit Schumacher lied, or well, he didn't exactly lie. He just didn't tell the truth as Eddie wanted it. But we saw what happened, and we saw what he could then achieve. So Eddie Jordan, I think, we're going. So this is where Adrian Newey ranks. He's up there with the rest of them, and that's what makes one of the reasons this car is so great. Is that design, that car design, and you can see that Adrian Newey philosophy as well through the aerodynamics, and the car itself, like you two both said, it just wants to throw you off. It is a car that wants to spin. You have to be in absolute control, and you have to have the very, very fine feeling about what's going on at the back of the car. The front of the car you can see. It's the back that you've got to worry about. That's the part you can't see. And the cars, obviously, it's wider at the back, just like Formula One cars are. Because it's wider, you may be off on, like there. I was on the sand. That's a perfect place, actually. That was not planned. Because the back of the car is just a slight bit wider, you can't see it. You've got to know what's happening there. You have to be in complete awareness of what's going on there. And I obviously wasn't. I need a lot more practice. I'd say maybe if I did another 50 laps, I could comfortably say, okay, I can get myself 144s comfortably every single lap without going off. I'd still have to do about 50 laps before I could say I got to that level. That's how solid this car was. But overall, I think physics-wise, it's bang on. It felt. I was actually watching Häkkinen race this car. I was watching Häkkinen race this car at this circuit, and I was looking at the speed he was going through the corners and things like that. Very, very similar. Very similar. So that means physics-wise, it's bang on. Looks-wise, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect. Interior, exterior, fully modeled, fully working. Sound-wise, I don't think we have any complaints. Yeah. Vettura Simulazioni have done a great job here, and it is such a fun car to drive. And honestly, I would love to drive this car for hours on end. If I had the time to, I would be doing something like that.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, we'll come back to the car at the end to grade it up a bit. But let's talk about the track, because we haven't talked much about the track, have we? This isn't an official Assetto Corsa track. This is a mod.
Yeah.
And this mod is not available on Race Department. It's actually available. We'll link it in the description box below. It's available on another website by the author of these mods, and the author is I don't know how to pronounce this exactly.
Malagoli.
It's Malagoli or Malagali or something. So something like that. Yeah. So that's that, and we're going to say that it's. What do you think of the mod? What do you think as a mod? What do you think it is? The track.
What I will say about the track before we get onto the mod, Suzuka circuit was always the last F1 race, wasn't it? In the calendar
generally
for many years,
and
it was one of them races where championships were decided. Constructor champion, everything was decided at that point. So people were glued to this track, to see who'd win, and there's that excitement factor when every time you view Suzuka, just for that reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, the other thing is it's a figure of 8 track.
Yeah.
And this corner.
Yeah.
The flat out corner where you go around that 100, you just saw.
Whoa.
And, yep, that's
Whoa. That,
I kept it off the wall and I kept it on the track. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I kept it on the track there. But that is a 180 mile an hour corner.
Yeah.
So, you know, that is one of the things. I genuinely think this track is one of the all-time great tracks. And I know people go Fuji Speedway. Fuji Speedway, but this is sort of the better track.
Yeah.
Right. What else? I'm actually getting a phone call at the moment, so I'm going to let you two carry on.
Yeah.
all right.
Right. Okay. We've not had that before.
No, we haven't had that before.
Right. Okay. So about the track, I like it simply because it brings back a lot of memories for me from when I used to watch back in the days.
Back when we used to actually watch the track, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since I'm not going to lie to you. F1, it's not been that interesting for me anyway.
Yeah.
The last few years, and this is just brought back a lot of memories just by looking at this track.
I agree with you there, definitely. I mean, this is the actual time when I used to watch Formula One, but obviously I'm not sure about it now. It's just I haven't had much of the time, but yeah, it's a great track, definitely.
Yeah. We'll go on to it's a figure of 8 track. It's got 17 turns. How does that work out then?
70 what? The figure of 8?
And then 17 turns.
17 turns. So you've got let me turn 1 doesn't have a name. Oh, by the way, I'm back. Hi.
Yeah.
Turn 1 doesn't. I don't think turn 1 has a name. Then you've got turn 1 and then you've got turn 2.
Yeah.
That follows straight on. It's almost like one wide turn.
Right. Okay.
3, 4, 5 are the S's.
Okay.
And then 6. So we go through the S's. So I tell you what, I'll go through that because we're coming up to the end of this lap.
Yeah.
At the end, I'll actually go through all these corners, and then we'll show how the corners go as the figure of 8 as well. So this is just Casino Triangle. It's not Casino Triangle, Castillo Triangle. Casinos, yeah, Monaco. So here we go. So that's actually, this is turn 18 here. Sometimes people say turn 80, sometimes people say turn 70, because some people count Spoon Corner, when we'll get to that, as 1 turn. Some people count it as 2.
Okay.
So this is turn 1. So it's quite a fast corner. Then you've got turn 2 right here. So turn 1 is more open, turn 2 narrows up.
Okay.
Then we've got the S's. So we've got turn 3, and then we've got turn 4. So this entire section counts a lot of the corners. 5. Then we've got 6, which is going to be another right-hander. So that's 6. That's out of the S's. Turn 7, this one here is called Dunlop. And this one's quite wide, and this corner just goes on forever. So that's turn 7.
So this is the part of the 8 that's sort of curling.
So now we've got 8 and 9. So this is the Degner 1 and 2. So that's Degner 1, Degner 2. Now, see the bridge here?
Yeah.
That's the figure of 8. That's the track above us.
Okay.
So we've got turn 9. So we've gone through that. Now we've got turn 10, which is this kink here. Turn 11 is this hairpin. Surprisingly, I haven't gone off yet. I thought I might have just gone off on this lap, but so turn 11. This is turn 12. Now turn 12 just swings around all the way. This is Spoon Corner now coming up. So some people count this as 2 corners, some people count it as 1. So it's turn 13 or turn 13 and 14. One or the other, however you want to say it. I'm just going to say turn 13. And then you've got this long run. Now we'll see that we're going to go now over the track again. So over here, just here, we've gone over the track.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's the track below us.
Yeah.
And then we've got turn 15. And we've got turn 16. 7 and 17. There we go. Well, 14, 15 and 16, 17 or 17 and 18, however you're doing it.
Then
And that's how the 17 or 18, depending on how you get spoon caught. Yeah?
True.
So that's how basically that works. It's really interesting because it's the only one that's a figure of 8. It's the only track that's figure of 8, but it's so much fun because if you are watching the TV cameras from the top, you've got the car coming along, and underneath you'll see the cars going under the bridge, and it's always nice to see. And you'd normally see the Ferraris and the McLarens at the top, and the Minardi going underneath, still halfway around the lap. So that was always good to see. And I think as a mod, it's a really nice track. It's a little bit bumpy. I found it was a little bit bumpy. He does say that the modder does say that the road mesh needs to be worked on.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that would be one of the things that needs to be worked on.
But you did say there's a few other issues with it.
There's a few. There were a few issues. He said. I mean, one was the walls and the tire collisions. I think the cars were getting stuck into the walls.
Yeah,
you did that.
I did that. I literally was driving for about a couple of minutes and I just managed to get it stuck.
Yeah, so that's one. The external landscape, you did mention it looked a little bit dull. That needs to be worked on. He is aware of that. Some of the textures, personally, I think they look fine.
I think I can see where he probably doesn't need to work on it, but yeah, they do look decent.
Yeah. He's going to add 2 more layouts, the west and east layout. So you're going to have East Course and West Course, which will be nice for the other cars. And just general optimizations, obviously. And AI on this, it doesn't work brilliant. They work, but not amazing. So if you did want to race this car on AI, expect the AI to crash or expect them to crash into you.
Yeah.
For now, at least.
Do you know if the author's made any more?
There's quite a few, not tracks, but there's some cars that he's made. And we might be reviewing a few things of his.
It's a good attempt.
I think it's a very good attempt.
It's on a difficult track.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's well made. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to probably rate it. I think I should give this an 8 out of 10.
Is this the track or the car?
The track.
Okay.
The track. I'm going to stick to my school grade and give you a B.
Oh, okay. If we're going to say that, then 8 out of 10 is similar to a B.
Yeah.
Something like a B. I think it's a really nice attempt at the track, and once it's finished, it should be A quality. I think it'll be A grade.
Yeah.
Not much more to say about the track. The car, though. The car is really what we're focused. We've been taken away by this car, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I think, can I go ahead and give this car? You know when you used to play Sonic the Hedgehog? I know what's going on. You used to play Sonic the Hedgehog, and you had all the grades.
Yeah.
And then if you did it in a certain time with X number of rings, and without dying once, you got S. You got the S grade. So you had
yes.
B, you had C, B, A, and then S.
Yeah.
This is an S.
Really?
This car is an S. This is higher than an A. I am giving this car the S grade.
I think I'll give it a 9. Probably because I haven't driven as much. But
yeah, I'm going to stick my guns and say I'm not going to rate this car because
crashed it again.
Yeah, I'm not going to rate it because I didn't drive it for long enough, and I can't compare it to. I mean, a normal car I wouldn't compare it, but I can't compare. I think it sounds really silly, but I'm gonna.
You're gonna abstain.
Yeah, abstain.
Yeah.
So this is like an election.
Yeah. Oh, wow, they're gonna time me with that.
Yeah. Again, not planned.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So you're saying a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that's because I've drove it for a few minutes.
And I'm giving it an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that does not work out as a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's got a 10 out of 10. Fantastic job. Seriously, well done.
So have you got a coalition going then?
Oh,
that was bad. That was bad. That was really bad. Sorry.
It's gonna happen though.
No, sorry. Anyway, right.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 on the car. Well done. 8 out of 10 on the track. To the creator of the track, very well done.
Yeah.
The car will be linked in the description box below. The track will be linked in the description box below. And the additional livery pack will be linked in the description box below as well. Now, before we end this video, I'm just going to make one more small note. You may have noticed that today I'm not using the OV1 app that I normally use. So if you notice that the HUD, it's not this normal HUD that we normally use. Now the reason I'm doing that is I've been told that this HUD actually causes stuttering. So this app that we've been using causes stuttering. So from here on in, I may not be using it for most videos. I may occasionally use it, but for most videos I'm going to see if I can find an alternative HUD. Perhaps these ones here are Assetto Corsa's own HUD apps that they've got up here, and I'll find a tyre temperature one or something like that, just to keep things going. So that's the reason why we're not using it. It's still a great app, but apparently it does cause stuttering. So if you have downloaded that app and you're finding that your Assetto Corsa is stuttering, remove the app and see if that helps. I think that's how we'll end it. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button if you like this video. Download this car. Definitely download this car. And leave a comment in our comments box below telling me how appalling I drive. We'll see you next episode.